This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios, Kokumlemle in Accra. Our digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country, including Volta Premier in Ho, Radio 123, Gaskia FM in Bono East, and A1 Radio in Bolgatanga. This news is also brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, Supersem Cement, Build Your Dream, and Telesol 4G, just a touch. In this edition, man who lost family's entire life savings of 200,000 Ghana cedis in troubled investment firm shares his story of pain and regret as he struggled to get by.
I took the old lady to Gold Coast. The old woman cannot tell you that what you've done, I don't like it. I'm a father of 3. They all depend on me. In less than 20 years, government asked me to go on retirement. What do I have?
We'll hear from Gold Coast Securities Fund Management, the firm at the center of the story. Minority on the Mines and Energy Committee to push for the sector minister to appear before it to answer questions on the entire PDS controversy as government seeks abrogation of the contract.
Why were we requesting for financial and the financial being very important capabilities of the companies? Definitely we'll push for them to come and tell the committee and many other things too.
We are live in Parliament for the very latest as the House resumes sittings today. Shraj acted incompetently. Accra High Court declares as it acquits and discharges NPP National Chairman of contempt charges.
I was isolated to sit on a chair. I was faced with this charge of contempt. If I was convicted, maybe I would have lost my freedom. You have committed me to prison. That's unfortunate. Thank God that it didn't happen.
Also in sports,
Ghana FA Normalization Committee President Dr. Amwa warns delegates will be voting on Thursday and Friday to choose the right leaders for the federation.
And later, and a trip to some of the most neglected schools in Ghana where academic work is almost grinding to a halt. All that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Please stay for the details. And in our very first story, he led an entire family to invest 200,000 Ghana cedis in investment firm Gold Coast Fund Management Limited, which is now a troubled company. Michael Lamte was the first to invest 40,000 Ghana cedis in the firm. And as a finance person, he was able to convince 4 other family members to deposit their savings. His wife, mother, mother-in-law, and sister-in-law. But for months, Gold Coast Fund Management has been struggling to pay its customers. Michael shares how the situation is affecting his entire family in the following report by Fifi Kumsen.
The old woman cannot tell you that what you've done, I don't like it. But you should know. As we speak, the old woman is in the house taking care of
Michael Lamte sobs as he narrates a struggle to redeem his investment with Gold Coast Fund Management Limited.
The most annoying thing, not even an officer talking to you, a security man will come and that is enough, that ends it.
But he's a man in a lot of trouble. As a finance person, he's the go-to man in his family when anyone wants to invest.
I happen to once take a course with Ghana Stock Exchange. When it comes to financial stuff, I know a bit about it.
So after he had invested his 40,000 Ghana cedis, he convinced 4 other family members to invest. His wife.
So the money that she has in her account, but I even took her to the bank. Yes, we drew the money and then took it to Gold Coast.
Mother.
So aside my friends, my immediate family.
Mother-in-law.
I didn't even talk to my wife, but I went straight to my mother-in-law. You are a pensioner. The letter that you have in your account, if you save it to. So I encouraged this old lady. I took the old lady to the bank. She took her money to Gold Coast.
And brother-in-law.
I didn't end there. My wife's brother, a senior man. I encouraged,
Together, the family has invested 200,000 Ghana cedis, Lamte says. But for almost a year now, the family has been trying hard without success to get their money.
Should something happen to me, God forbid today, I don't have any support anywhere. I don't have anything to fall on, my brother.
Do you get into financial difficulty sometimes?
Yes. At times, it's difficult to say it.
Lamte is just a little over 40 years, and already he's been diagnosed with hypertension.
The brief clinical history, is the name of patient Michael Lamte, X-ray request form. fascicular block, newly diagnosed hypertension.
See, that is what I've been diagnosed of.
He blames his new condition on the intense pressure on him, the man who led his entire family into a botched investment.
Do the kids notice that there's a problem?
The day I took this thing I got to the house, my first daughter came in. Daddy, what is wrong with you? This X-ray. Do you have a problem with your heart? 6-year-old girl. I lied on my bed. You can imagine the scene.
Lamte is not the only one worried about the situation. Meet this man.
My name is Gerard Benson. I retired from work in 1997.
He's 82 years old with a heart condition and needs urgent surgery.
My heart, at the stage, one night, things were bad, so I was rushed to the hospital. Yeah, I stayed there for 4 days, and I was given some medications. I said the best would be that the outer, that big artery, there's some problem there, and it will need some surgery.
Okay.
So I needed some money.
How much?
Oh, 35,000.
35,000?
Yes, cedis. So I went and told them that this was it.
Gold Coast.
Gold Coast.
Okay.
We will come, we are getting some money when we get. So I went to the hospital again, and I was giving some sustaining drugs to buy for some time.
He has no money for it now, but he has over 150,000 Ghana cedis locked up at Gold Coast. The octogenarian says he's scared.
I invested 100,000 cedis first, and then I added 50,000, and then I added 6,000. This was the money I put in.
Joy News has reached out to Gold Coast Fund Management Limited on the case of Lamte and his family and other people affected by the troubles of Gold Coast Fund Management. Gold Coast says it will work with the affected persons and have the issues resolved. But for now, Lamte and the old man remain under pressure and afraid of the unknown.
I just went for the results from the laboratory. I don't know if I'll be made to sleep there. Oh, money. Oh, money.
Fifi Kumsin, Joy News.
Now, Gold Coast Fund Management says it's working out a plan with Michael after Joy News had brought his story to its attention.
The point is that we have listened to the production. Everything the gentleman is saying is valid. He represents numerous, in fact, thousands of customers with different similar conditions such as this one that the company is taking steps to address. But it's an overwhelming situation because it is kind of something that is happening in crisis times. Now, these revelations that are going on is good to the extent that it will allow us to proffer solutions, get the people who matter to be able to take concrete decisions, to be able to address them. And regulators are involved, ministries are involved, the presidency are involved, and so on and so forth. So it's good that it's coming up. We want to also acknowledge the resilience of our customers, the patience, the calmness, the civility, and so on. There have been a few instances where anger and emotions have played out, but if you look at the number of customers that we deal with and the monies that we are talking about, it's an insignificant number in terms of the infractions that we may be worried about. But there are genuine pain people are going through, and it's our fault and it's our responsibility, and we take it squarely.
But private legal practitioner Samson Ladianyenene, who represents some clients of Gold Coast, says the so-called company often claims to be making with clients doesn't work.
The Gold Coast people and whoever their subsidiaries are don't appear to have any coordinated approach that is sympathetic of their clients, the clients who give them job, who give them business, the clients whose monies, ensure that they were able to take care of their families and live reasonably comfortable lives. And this is what it is. when lawyers are ready to assist them, even on a basis that doesn't come with any benefit to the lawyers, these people are struggling to look for the money just to file their cases. Ask them, when was the last time they replied any of their clients, including Mike? When was the last time they acknowledged any of the reminder notices?
You heard the private legal practitioner Samson Ladiayin in disputing claims made earlier by Kofi Asamoah that they have some arrangement for claims to be made by clients, and he says that it doesn't work. Let's head now to Parliament, because minority on the Mines and Energy Committee says it will push for the sector minister to appear before the MPs to answer questions on the entire Power Distribution Services PDS controversy. Government, in a letter dated October 18, 2019 to the MCC, announced the termination of the PDS agreement, which came into effect on March 1, 2019, and saw PDS take over the management of Ghana's major power distribution company, ECG. Government arrived at the decision after it claimed PDS entered the agreement with a forged demand guarantee. But the ranking member on the Mines and Energy Committee in Parliament, Adams Mutawakilu, says government has a lot of questions to answer when it finally appears before the committee.
We're not even surprised that they have to use the operational cash flow of PDS to even pay for the insurance premium, which was not even originally in the document, which was not in the document. In the document, a letter of credit of $350 million converted it to insurance, of which they were to pay insurance premium of $12.5 million. Even that, the whole consortium couldn't raise it than to use the proceeds from PDS operations to pay. That means that you and me could equally set up a company and take off PDS. Because what is difficult running it and use the money to pay for the premium? And why were we requesting for financial and the financial being very important, capabilities of the companies? At the committee, we will try to invite them. We've invited them in July to get in-depth information, but they couldn't make it before even the suspension, because we, the minority, suspected it for long. So we pushed for us to meet PDS and the ministry. That was 18th July, but they couldn't make it up, and 31st July, it was suspended.
Once you are resuming tomorrow, you intend to push for that?
Definitely, we'll push for them to come and tell the committee, and many other things to.
Let's go live to Parliament now. My colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson is on the floor and joins us live. So, Parker, has issues regarding PDS been raised? What have they been saying about it?
No, not yet. Parliament just started, and the Speaker a while ago delivered his welcome address, welcoming all the members of Parliament. And let me put on record that, in fact, it's almost a full house of this very afternoon. Now, in his welcome address, he indicated that all the committee chairmen, if they fail to finish the Speaker with their traveling report, he is going to deny them the opportunity to travel. And he believed that such report would help him understand the number of MPs who are on the floor or who will be in the House and all of that. Now, something interesting happened right after the Speaker spoke. The minority leader, when he was welcoming the members of Parliament, indicated that this year they are going to make sure they scrutinize every single document or policy that the government tends to initiate. And one of the things that he has promised to do is to invoke Article 49, which will summon the finance minister or the energy minister to Parliament to furnish the House with details of the PDS, the alleged PDS scandal. And he promised that they will make sure that the government serves the interest of the state. And whatever is going to happen, they'll make sure that it is the larger majority of the Ghanaians who will benefit from this whole PDS brouhaha.
You heard my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson monitoring events in Parliament for us. Subsequently, we'll bring you more on that. But that's not all. An insurance consultant, Edgar Oredu, is questioning the basis for the termination of the contract.
One, there are two agreements. The LA, the leasing agreement, which you are supposed to pay 100 million, I think, every quarter or so. And then the bulk supply one, which you have to pay 250 million every 3 quarters. If these guys fail to perform by paying that amount of money, then you call on the guarantee. This has nothing to do with ECG assets, as is being put out there.
that you have handed ECG assets of 3 billion or whatever to the people, and all kinds of, vocabulary is being used.
Why do they have to pay the money every 3 months?
You are leasing the agreement. You are leasing the equipment. Okay.
That's the asset.
That's the asset. You are leasing it. So for you, it's like I've come to rent your house. Every month I have to pay you some amount of money. Fine.
Okay. Now, so this is like rent for the assets,
yes.
basically.
Mm-hmm. Now, the bulk supply, these independent power suppliers who, provide power and things, you need to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, so as they have given you power, you have to pay X, Y, Z. So that is all the guarantees are about.
So this is a guarantee against those payments that we are making?
Against those payments that PDS has to make.
Super.
This has nothing to do with ECG assets. ECG assets have been insured separately. It has nothing to do with these guarantees. It's been insured separately against material damage, fire, life perils, liabilities, what have you. It has an intact insurance.
Meanwhile, lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Emmanuel Frimpong, is urging government to look within for solutions to the country's power sector challenges. He spoke with Love FM's David Akwete.
Well, we do our best to meet the deadlines. However, if we are not able to meet the deadline, we need to do the needed reforms ourselves. We actually have the capacity to do that. We don't actually need any country to compel us to do reform. We have all that it takes to do the reform. So we should gather the political will to do the reforms ourselves if we are not able to meet the deadline. The worry is that we will continue to suffer from the poor quality of service if these reforms are not done. That is the major effect.
Now, away from the PDS controversy, let's head to the court because the NPP National Chairman Freddie Blay has been acquitted and discharged of the contempt charges leveled against him by the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice Shraj. In his ruling, Justice George Kumsin held that officials of Shraj acted incompetently in attempts to serve the politician with a petition. Shraj had expressed frustration that the party leader had been evading receipt of documents seeking his response to allegations that he procured 275 buses for his party through corruption.
I was isolated to sit on a chair, and I was faced with this charge of contempt. If I was convicted, maybe I would have lost my freedom. Would have committed me to prison. That's unfortunate. Thank God that it didn't happen, and the judge ruled that I was not guilty of contempt. But the most important issue is that, as you could, if you were in the courtroom, you will have realized the judge went ahead to read the application in detail.
NPP National Chairman Freddie Blay, of course, we'll get to hear from him again, but my colleague Joseph Akablay was in court, joins us in the studio. Joseph, just refresh our memories with a brief background to the story.
So the Coalition for Social Justice filed a petition with Shraj in July 2018 asking that it investigates Mr. Blay for the procurement of the buses. And within a year, they said that they had not been able to get a response from Freddie Blay despite writing 4 letters to him. And so they filed the contempt case against Mr. Blay at the High Court asking that he be committed to contempt and sanctioned with a prison term for disobeying Shraj.
And interestingly, the court ruled that Shraj acted incompetently. Why so?
In fact, the judge made a point that he struggles to understand why Shraj was attempting to serve Mr. Blay at the NPP office and at the office of the Daily Guide newspaper, even though they knew very well that he's a public official who holds a public office at the GNPC as board chairman. He again makes the point that the evidence submitted by Shraj to the court does not show that indeed Mr. Blay received a letter, neither did anyone receive the letter on his behalf. And so he concluded that it appears that the officers were either acting mischievously or they were simply not going about their work in a manner that they ought to be going about. I asked Mr. Blay directly on a substantive issue and a bit about when the members of the party will receive the buses. We can listen to his response.
I've not done anything untoward. The question of being part of efforts for a bank to give a loan for us to purchase buses to help our party run. This, to me, does not constitute corruption. And along, if you read online and everywhere else, social media, I'm being accused of that corruption. To me, I feel extremely bad about it. I think media and all those involved are just running on speculation and are not bothering, indeed, going into the details and find out what happened. What is it that is involved?
On the substantive issue, where are you in terms of the procurement of that?
I have not been personally involved in the purchase of a bag. Those who I have been with have made attempt and succeeded in getting the bank to help advance a loan for the purchase of the buses.
But do you know when the party members will receive it?
Very soon.
You heard that the NPP National Chairman Freddie Blay, but what was the reaction of Sraj to this ruling?
What we have is their response to the judgment in open court. The lawyers did indicate that as the court pleases, and they will abide by the decision coming from the court. But as it stands now, it means that they will have to now again write to Mr. Blay, get him notified and have his response before they can proceed with their investigations relating to the procurement of the buses.
Thank you, Joseph Akable. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM, brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DigiBank, Let's Go, Super Sim Cement, Build Your Dream, and Telesol 4G, just a touch. Our top story so far, we heard the story of a man who lost family's entire life savings of 200,000 Ghana cedis in troubled investment firm, and he's been sharing his story of pain and regret as they struggle to get by. But still to come. We'll take a trip to some of the most neglected schools in Ghana, where academic work is almost grinding to a halt. You want to stay for that after this break.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Kremasa, Ghana, so we correct Mason pa. And you make us super. Me a super Mason and Kasa. Because our job no and better. They won't see how beautiful and high quality your work is. That be what them they use believe you. That be why me too. It be only super cement at the use. Cement mu cement. Cement papa. Intere me grind in from me cause super. Because me the super cement and DVD.
Super Cement is designed to ensure that your buildings stand strong for generations. Build with Super Cement. Build your dream. Build.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's do sports now after that debate last night.
Did you watch?
Talk? Yes, I did.
Amanda?
I did. Yes, she did well.
Amanda did well.
Very well.
Yeah,
I was impressed. Very impressed, actually.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, that's fine. We'll see how that will go, if possibly we'll translate.
You're telling me that delegates don't follow debates?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, everything that they put out there is something that they've been saying all this while during their campaign.
But there's an advice for these delegates.
Yeah, there's an advice, and it's coming from Dr. Kofi Amwa, who is a Ghana FA Normalization Committee president. And of course, he's talking about how the delegates should look at these men and women, one that will be right for the next FA.
Went well, but we did a lot of planning, a lot of sessions, trying to figure out what aspect of the Ghana football enterprise should be the areas that we create questions for the candidates to react. And I think by the candidates' own answers, you know that they all came prepared. There's a lot of difference in answers, but all pointing in the same direction of empowering and bringing strength to Ghana football. But I think my message now is to the delegates. Their action is representing Ghana. They are representing Ghana to make the right decisions, to get the right person or people to come and manage football.
So that's Ghana FA Normalization Committee President Dr. Kofi Amwa. Well, tonight is UEFA Champions League, and there is live commentary on Joy FM. Galatasaray up against Real Madrid. That's our commentary game. That will be one of many matches that will be played tonight in the Champions League. Club Brugge, Paris Saint-Germain, and then we have Bayern Munich. They are up against Olympiacos. They go away. Tottenham Hotspur will be at home to play against Royal Star Belgrade. Well, the unfortunate news is that Ghanaian striker Richmond Boakye Adam has picked up an injury and will not be part of the team for for Red Star Belgrade. Shakhtar Donetsk, Dynamo Zagreb, and Manchester City. They will come up against Atalanta at the ATR Stadium. There's Atletico Madrid by Leverkusen, and then Juventus, Cristiano Ronaldo's Juventus will take on Lokomotiv Moscow.
Thank you very much, Benedict Owusu there. Now, it's been 7 years since the white paper on the Constitution Review Commission report was issued. The commission, set up in 2012, was to engage citizens and other interest groups to identify shortcomings of the 1992 Constitution and make recommendations for amendments to meet current needs. Addressing a news conference in Accra on Tuesday, convener of group pushing for the implementation of the report says it's time to take action.
A constitutional amendment bill was prepared by government. We are interested in finding out what actually happened to that bill. We also note that after the 2016 general elections and the subsequent change in government, nothing substantial has been heard or done to implement the recommendations from the Constitution Review exercise as adopted in the white paper. There is also no clear or detailed implementation plan of which Ghanaians can hold government to account. We are extremely concerned that the $6.3 million translated into 28.4 million Ghana cedis spent on the entire exercise will be yet another waste of scarce resources if the process is not revived and sustained.
You heard there, Aaron Bashan. They are also demanding the state of a constitutional amendment bill, which was drafted by government on the matter, while appreciating the fact that at least one of the recommendations, which is the election of MMDCs, is being effected. Now, if you're a teacher in a city like Accra or Kumasi, school may just be an Uber ride away. At worst, you could just jump into a trotro. But elsewhere in the country, it's a drudgery for a teacher to get to school. Some teachers posted to the Asante Achim North District of Ashanti region are said to be refusing posting there as a result of bad roads in the area. Oheming Terrier traces some of the routes and what it takes for the teacher to navigate the terrain on a daily basis.
In Shahoso, Sobroso, Afisre, Bibuso and Nsunamiye are some of the virtually neglected communities consistently rejected by many teachers posted there. Accommodation and other basic infrastructure are non-existent, as some of them can be reached only on foot or motorbike. Muddy and waterlogged surfaces, sometimes to no level, are the lot of users, including teachers.
One time, I went for some documents at the office, and when I was coming, I fell in one of the waters over there, and in fact, it was very bad.
Kojudia is head teacher of Nsunamiye DA Basic School.
Before we will come to this town, we have to pass through mud and then some waters on the road. In fact, it's very appalling in the sense that when I was even coming, I had to remove my shoes and all my trousers. I have to fold them up to even my knee, so that I will be able to pass through these waters and the mud.
District Chief Executive Francis Otibuatin and officials of Ghana Education Service had it tough on a recent trip to the area.
Getting teachers to this community is very difficult. I witnessed a gentleman who was posted here some time ago, and this man didn't come again. So if you get teachers who accept to come here, it means they need to be motivated.
I've been here for 10 years, and several teachers have been posted to me here, and they never stayed even up to a year.
And that's the report put together by Oheming Terrier. There's a lot of talk on social media today, and Mapitso Savidi joins us in studio with it. What's the talk on social media?
Okay, some of the talk on social media is hashtag KNUST demo at 1. As we know that last year at this time, KNUST students were demonstrating, and this one is from @NUST_live, and they said the unthinkable unfolds before our eyes. This was not meant to happen. This could not happen. This was happening. A peaceful demonstration turned into something else. A year on, hashtag KNUST demo at 1. At Kwame_H says, and history was made. A day to remember, hashtag KNUST demo at 1. Adom_Solomon says, the one carrying the carpets. I'm sure you can recall the gentleman who took the administration carpet and he was trending on Twitter, hashtag KNUST demo at 1. And the last one is from @Leston61 who says, a year has passed and we're still waiting for the reports. Black man always wants violence before he does the right thing. But this time round, it won't be violence. Hashtag KNUST demo at 1.
Thank you very much, Mavs. And that's it for the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news, of course, when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Thank you so much for your company. Have a good afternoon.